Hello Sky community, welcome to my channel. It's Danny B, and today I'm going to show you how I do a full candle run of all 6 realms. And while the video plays, I'm going to share to you some tips and tricks on how to run more efficiently and farm more efficiently. Some of these I learned through gameplay, but mostly I got from the official Discord server of Sky and the PH server, as well as friends. So the first tip is to avoid areas which have cutscenes, such as the one at the beginning of the isle, which I avoided by flying at the top of the structure, the cave, where the cutscene is. Also, this video is sped up twice, and I'm going to show you how I do it in a solo run. Of course, it's much more fun and efficient to do it with friends, but I'm going to show you how I do it when I do it solo, because sometimes we can't be with our friends because of differing time zones and schedules. So that's that. When I do candle runs, I usually don't wear the chibi mask, and in this clip I have 2 tall potions used, permanent potions, and I prefer this height for my character. It's better to be taller when doing candle runs so that you don't fall accidentally into out of bounds areas and small spaces, which could be time consuming to get out of. So I'm going to be able to show you through the video the path I take. So those I would discuss would be other tips. I'm going to be doing this in order of the realms, from the 1st to the 6th realm or gate. So next we'll go to Prairie. I'm going to try to do the tasks as well while I'm candle running, so that we will only take 1 trip to finish them all. So in areas with clouds and in realms with a lot of places that you can recharge, you can go ahead and keep spending your flight energy to save some time. And if you notice, I keep on deep calling in various areas. That is because I have noticed that doing a deep call often or sometimes induces the servers merge, a merge of servers. So sometimes the candles end up being lit already. That way I don't have to light them up anymore. I just have to walk past and I've done collecting them. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does, so I guess it's still handy to try. Another thing I do when I do a solo run is to run not immediately after the time of reset, but maybe hours later, so that when servers merge, there is a high likelihood that all the candles are lit and all the darkness plants are already burnt. It saves time not having to light them up and burn them. Oh, here's another one. When you collect your candles, you can just do them once, all at once, after you're done running, or maybe do them when you are being idle, like when you're waiting for more players to help you open a multiplayer door. I'd keep doing this mistake all over the video, but try not to do deep calls around butterflies because, well, they would bring you upwards, and usually the candles or the darkness plants that you need to collect are on the ground. Here I forgot about the rainbow, so I just went and did it afterwards. We were only after the candle collecting, but, well, anyway, I forgot about that, so I just had to go back to it after this recording. So, another tip is to jump instead of walk. It's faster to cover more distance that way if you're not flying, or it's more convenient to travel on foot. Here I was trying to call for other players to help me open the 2-player door before I proceeded here, so that hopefully it would have already been burnt. But oh well. Sometimes it doesn't work, especially after the recent update patch. It's been feeling kind of lonely doing runs these days. I don't know, it just feels like it. There's less people around. Or, other Sky Kids around. It's at times like these when you need other players' help that it's very convenient to have friends with you. But it's not so bad doing solo. Sometimes you're lucky and there are already enough people to help you open multiplayer doors and portals. So here, we spent a lot of time trying to wait for one more, but I found that it's more difficult to wait for a solo player to arrive in this situation than for, let's say, a duo or a trio. So I recommend when this happens is that you teleport back home and get back here. And sometimes it works. To be honest though, it's easier to wait for other players in the 8-player door of Prairie than the 4-player doors of the Vault. I don't know. There's very few people who are willing to help you open those doors. Well, you can't blame them. They probably had been waiting so long a while back too, and they were skipping those. So I went back home and got back here, but there were still 7 of us. Thankfully, after a few moments, a duo, it seemed, left and tried to wait for a server switch instead, I guess. So to kill time, I was just following these moths around. So around this time, the other duo had left our server, and immediately afterwards, see, there were enough players, 8 players to open this door. It's easier to wait for a duo or a trio than for a solo player. I don't know why. So here I went straight for the one where Oreo is, or where Oreo appears, so that by the time I come back, hopefully these candles are all lit and I will just have to walk past them. Yeah, it's a lazy move, but well, anything that helps us do it faster, right? And thank you to all you wonderful people who are so what's the term? So nice to, well, do it for the rest of us. The rest of us lazy bums. Here it's stuck, even if I was so friggin' tall. Next is Hidden Forest. One of the fastest to farm are Hidden Forest and the Valley. The Valley is the fastest, for sure. Or wait, Isle, but you know, for the others, the fastest would be the Valley. I finish it fastest because, well, you just have to race through it and you get one full candle. Sometimes when I am too lazy to farm all realms, I just do Valley, Golden Wasteland, Prairie, and here, Forest. This gate you can just fly upwards, you don't have to unlock it. There, see? Usually when you do a deep call, the servers merge and most of them are already burnt, so you just have to pass by. Oh no, buggy gate, but it didn't take so long. When this happens, you could just go back home to reset the gate and it'll be okay. So next up we'd be going to where what I call is the secret forest. Usually I go through this portal and come right back through here too, instead of the other portal of the secret forest. In Hidden Forest, you don't really have to be so, you don't really have to save that much on your flight power. There's a lot of places that you can recharge from, and there's a lot of plants to collect, and those also help you recharge your flight power. The only realm I do a lot of stops to recharge flight power would be Golden Wasteland. There's not much to recharge power there, but all the other realms are fine. You can keep flying to finish farming faster. There, fly on this part because there's a cutscene. And I know most places to farm candles, but perhaps there are some places I don't know about and was unable to cover in this video, so I'm sorry about that. Oh, and you have to remember, the darkness plants have rotations. Sometimes, well, it feels to me like there are two rotations or differences in the places where you can find these dark plants. Only some of them change places though. Whoops, I made a mistake there. I shouldn't have done a deep call. Now I'll have to wait because, see, I kept toggling the flight button, but I couldn't unless they were finished putting me up where I should be by doing that. So there are a lot of places to recharge here. Even the ground is made of clouds. So we're going to head back right out the portal we came in through to continue candle farming where we left off. Deep call. Although it's relatively safe not to have to keep to recharging your flight power in the hidden forest, I suggest keeping at least 2 bars of, or wedges of flight power. So here I'd like to do the left side first and then come right back here at the beginning of this hidden forest area. So I know that when this is here, the one at the boneyard and the one near the boneyard are not there because of, as I told you, there are rotations of these dark plants. And I don't really know exactly how the rotations work, but you get used to it when you farm every day, when you farm a lot. So usually when I do a solo run, I go straight to the end of the broken bridge so that I can turn off the rain and not have to worry about it while I collect all the candles in this area. At the Temple of the Hidden Forest, there is a darkness tree, the big ones that you need more players to burn, or else they grow right back. And usually you can trigger a server merge by opening the temple's gates towards the Sunny Forest. But the players I was with in this game, in this run, were willing to burn it, so I decided to help instead. I keep slipping. You can try to stay on the plant by moving towards the next leaf as it burns down. Seems like they're all in a hurry too. Usually when I encounter players to help me burn the plants, we do a lot of exchange of bows and hellos. So skip all those cutscenes that you can, some you can't. Just let them play, I guess. Hopefully that game company would, put a skip to all the cutscenes. It gets pretty old very quickly. Instead of going through that area where you fly, I find it faster to just go home and go through the next gate. We do a candle run in 2 sets. The first 3 gates first, and then the next 3, because my phone heats up a lot, and especially with the latest patch. And I read in the Discord server that they're still fixing that on Android devices. So try to collect all of these candles at the beginning for the first run, since you're going to do 2 runs in Valley, right? So that for the second run, you'll just have to pass right through them without worrying that you hadn't collected some of them. And also try to stay grounded through that tunnel. When you go through that cutscene after the tunnel, by the way, keep pressing your flight so that you could go straight to that area up there, and then just slide past through here. I try to take all those candles on the skating rink first before entering any of the races. I do the sky race first because it has the citadel area before the actual race. So for the second run, it'll just be quite a breeze. Remember to collect the candle cakes. What I do so that I know exactly where to find them is that I check them out in the Discord servers. There are dedicated channels. There is a dedicated channel in the Philippine Discord server for Sky, but I'm not sure about the official one. Anyway, I refer to that so that before I even start running, I'd know where to find them. Although I forgot the one in the rink. But that's okay, I can go back to it for the second run of Valley. I made a lot of mistakes trying to land here. The updraft can be quite annoying, especially when you're trying to quickly get those candles. I often light up and collect these candles first. Here, deep call, trying to induce a server merge. Usually it doesn't happen, but it happened on the second half. I try to collect all these candles first before opening the gate. Oh, in the sky race, you can just keep on flapping and flying to finish the race faster, because there's lots of clouds everywhere to help you recharge, and the light fragments help you recharge as well. Keep flying near clouds so that you can keep on boosting your flight. Whoops. Mistakes here and there. You just fly past all these. You don't really have to gather all the fragments of light. Even just collecting one fragment of light will give you that candle at the end of the race. Whoop. When that white screen happens, it usually means that someone has already won the race. So basically, you really don't even have to try to race anymore. You're going to be teleported here and get your candle. So as I do the first race, try to get all the collectibles, all the candles as well, at the temple and the temple's maze. So that by the time I finish the foot race, I could go straight to the Golden Wasteland. I'm not entirely sure since it's so dark in the maze, but I believe that's all the lights you can collect in the maze. Okay, on to the next race. Here, I forgot if I collected this one. Just to be sure. Now you could just breeze through this area since you've collected all these candles now. But try to stay grounded still. Because when you do that a hard drop, your light, well, some of your light is lost. Here, okay, we've remembered to get this one. And now to finish the foot race. No one's here yet. So yeah, I'll just repeat. You don't have to collect all the fragments of light to get the candle at the end of the race. Even just collecting one fragment of light will be enough. Some say there's a bearing to how much light you collect as to how much extra wax you can get after the race, but I don't think so. You can only really just get one full candle for each race, regardless of how much fragments of light you were able to collect in the race. You can just breeze right through here so you could finish quickly. Immediately after you get your candle, go home so that you don't have to go through the temple cutscene again. You can just collect it later. Golden Wasteland. Now you probably know this, but I'll just repeat for you if you do. There are lots of tricks to avoid losing light when the krills spot you. You can use the Koto emote, the Play Dead emote, or the home trick. Basically just press the settings on the upper right, the settings icon on the upper right of your screen. Press home and then don't press the check mark or the X mark. Just stay on that pop-up window until the krill hits you, and even if the krill hits you, you won't lose any light. So doing tumbles in mid-air and barrel rolls help you stay afloat longer, but I don't really know how to induce a barrel roll. I just know how to make twirls, or what do you call them? Anyway, that, I forgot what it's called. So from here, before I proceed to the next area of the Golden Wasteland, I finish the arc first. There, induce that. Turning around while flying. It helps you stay afloat longer. The unskippable cutscenes. I wish you could skip this part after the season ends, though. I don't know how they were able to fly immediately. It took me longer. So yeah, you don't have to wait for the boat to land or dock. You just fly if you can't wait. Apparently there are new candles on the arc itself. Red candles, which you can collect. Oh great, it's already burnt. And I only remembered about those red candles when I passed by it on my way back. I think there's like 6 darkness plants here in this cave. It took me quite some time to get used to this cave to know which way I've already been through. So here, do the roll thing I told you about. Especially here there's an updraft. Keeps you afloat longer. Not a drop of light to waste. There's not much of a need to recharge in the Forgotten Ark, since the updraft will help you stay afloat and help you keep flying. So here I see one. I see one of these newly placed red candles. And I don't really know if I were able to collect all of them, but I tried my best to find as much as I could. I wasn't aware of this when I collected the orange light and finished the last cinematic of the season. Only saw it now. Now back to the boat and finish the rest of Golden Wasteland. As I've mentioned, there aren't a lot of places to recharge your light here in the Golden Wasteland, so try to reserve it and use it only when you need to, and reserve it just in case you are unable to do the tricks and get hit by a krill. You won't lose light immediately. Or wait, you still do. Anyway, you're going to be stepping on a lot of tar water, and that drains your flight. So at least in the Golden Wasteland, I'd recommend to keep at least 5 wedges on your flight power. There, I did the home trick, but I wasn't the target of that krill. It was the poor light creature. Breeze right through this area. So you've probably noticed I do a lot more walking than flying in the Golden Wasteland, since there aren't a lot of places to recharge. Whoop, missed my landing. That's buggy. You can only get 1 drop of light from that one. I kept doing a deep call, but it wouldn't budge. Probably when I go right back around. I was surprised to see the krill through here. I don't remember it going through here as a part of its path. Even in the ship, it would be doing... Well, I was hoping this was already burnt, but sometimes it just isn't. No matter how I try to induce a server merge. But thankfully, after this one, when I get back, before entering the shipwreck area, the big plant would already have been burnt. Darkness plant. I forgot there was one more here, so I went back. Not exactly efficient. Whoop. Avoid krills at all costs. It's still not burnt. Now it is. See? Tolerance isn't so bad. There's this portal here, and the one from right after the one krill area, where you can get to the shipwreck. Don't exactly have the rotations of the dark plants memorized yet, especially in the Golden Wasteland. I've only recently gotten over my fear of the krills. So I kept checking the areas where the plants are. Oh, and yes, remember that during Sundays, each week, the reset each week for Eden, all the darkness plants in Golden Wasteland are present, so you can get more candles during Sundays. It usually crashes here, but I guess they fixed it. It doesn't crash as much anymore. So maybe not fixed, but maybe my phone has adapted. Lol. So from this candle here, you need maybe 4 to 5 flaps to get to the top of that structure in the distance. But I just try to recharge fully, just so if I make mistakes, I can quickly recover and not have to do it all over again. It's like that flop. And that. Oh gosh. I don't know, maybe players around me make me nervous. So in the battlefield, in the battlefield area, this plant is usually doesn't burn by itself by server merges. So it's a good thing if there are other players willing to help you burn them down. Since there were a lot of us, it was much faster for us to burn this. It wasn't much of help though. This gate you can glitch right through, you don't have to activate it and wake the krills up. Just jump when you're near the gate and you'll glitch right through the gate, basically. That's the end of Golden Wasteland. Now on to Vault, which takes the most time, in my opinion. It's really difficult waiting here. It takes more time to wait for players to help you open the multiplayer doors here than it is in Prairie. Even if the door there needs more players. Especially the 4-player doors in Vault. It's very difficult or it takes a lot of time to wait for people willing to help you. It could be kind of frustrating, especially if you're trying to farm as fast as you can. Especially when your phone is overheating. I hope they fix the overheating issues soon. Because it's very alarming for my phone. I don't want to destroy my phone so quickly. I just got this one. So I really hope they fix it soon. See, it's much more easier when other players have already run the realms. All them candles are lit. Perks of being a solo player. Oh, of course, the office isn't included in this run. I don't have a beta or Founder's Cape, but I'm going to collect the ones that I can without it. Still counts. Every drop counts. Especially when you're trying to collect for a traveling spirit who needs so much candles. And now for the long wait. You can try going back home and then returning to this area. Sometimes that works, but I just tried to wait. Sometimes it doesn't work, and then you just lose all those people you tried to call to help you, and then you're going to have to start all over again. I don't know, there's very few people in Vault, or very few people willing to help you open the multiplayer doors. Finally we got one. Took quite some time before another 2 appeared, but that's alright. He gave me an idea, and ooh, look at that. Isn't that so satisfying? When you collect so many candles at once. I kept calling, but no one would answer. There, 2 people. Finally. Bow endlessly towards the people who help you. Save some time. you can light them up just a little bit and try to get away as fast as you can so that you don't see these cutscenes. It works sometimes. But I stayed because I was going to put a heart on that last candle there. These guys didn't want to be lit up. Oh, they did. He looks taller than me. I thought I was already the max height. In all the levels of Vault, this is the level I hate the most. It's so difficult lighting those floating lanterns. All those. I find it difficult to light them up. See? Doesn't let you stick to them all the time. But thankfully there were a lot of us, so that was quick. Doing that alone is frustrating. I don't know the shortcut to leave that level and go straight to the next one, so I'll have to deal with that. Oh, they're already lit. I think I'm out of tips and tricks. Oh, here's another one. Here's a tip. Ride the Manta, the baby Manta, so that you have enough light to fly all the way up here. Although you really just need a few flaps. This area has the most candles out of all the levels in Vault, I think. Skip them cutscenes. You can just sit here. Oh great. Someone had already done it on the next level in another server and it merged. Oh, for this one, since I don't have enough flight power to fly all the way up, I catch it this way. When you get off the platform too quickly, it's below the red floating embers. The mantas are below those, and you can't really ride them either. And we're done. That's the last of them. Thank you all guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.